Welcome to Game and Grains, the whiskey gaming channel. I'm your player one, Richard. Lately, as I've been pouring myself a dram, I've been making it a point to slow down and truly observe and enjoy the subtle nuances and flavors of what's in my glass. Today, I'm going to put that knowledge to the test by doing a 5-sample blind sent to me by my good friend, the Whiskey Shaman. Now, I haven't done so well in the past two, but I'm feeling a little bit more confident about this challenge today. So, grab your controllers, pour yourself a dram, and let's get into it. I think I know what may be in each of these bottles, but before I tell you what my thoughts are, I wanted to make sure that you knew that I didn't cheat. So if you can tell, there's a little piece of electrical tape up on the top of each of these lids. That's to ensure that during hand delivery, none of the whiskey seeps out. Each one of the labels has been covered with painter's tape, so I can't see, even if I wanted to, what is inside each of these glasses. Now, to save myself a little bit of time, I went ahead and labeled in permanent marker each one of these bottles. They have a number, as well as the corresponding Glen has a matching number as well. Now, before I pour anything into these glasses, I think that it could be one of three things in each of these bottles. First, Shaman's been on a bit of a rye kick. In fact, I believe one, if not both, of my previous blinds were rye. I've had enough rye now that I think I could probably pick out one if it was in front of me. Next option could be Irish whiskey. I recently did a review of Keeper's Heart American Irish whiskey. It was great, and I was very blown away by the subtle, fruity flavors that came off of an Irish whiskey. He had made mention in passing something about sending me some samples, so that could be what this is as well. Lastly, I have been trying to get into American single malt. He is a huge single malt fan, and so I think that could be a potential option as well. I'm never going to know until I pour these into the glass. So the plan is I'm going to pour a small amount in each one of these corresponding Glens. I'll work my way through, giving you my tasting notes, and then we will see at the end what it is in each one of these glasses. I went ahead and poured about half of each bottle into the corresponding Glen. I've let these sit for probably about 5 to 7 minutes, so that way it can get some air and hopefully give me better nosing notes. Now, there were no rules with this particular blind, so I'm just going to sample my way through each of them, do my best to describe the nose, the taste, and the finish, and then at the end we will open up each one of these to see was I able to guess them correctly. Now I'm going to start over here on my right. This is bottle number 1 all the way through bottle number 5. So on the nose of glass number 1, so the nose is already making me second guess what my pre-guesses were beforehand. So I'm getting a light honey, and then I'm getting some roasted peanuts or some sort of nut, and a banana. So that, to me, the only thing that I can recall would be like a Jack Daniels. But what's throwing me about this is that light honey note that I'm picking up. I'm getting a little bit of char, but again, I'm wondering Jack Daniels. So I'm going to go ahead and get it on the taste, and let's see if maybe this gives me some familiar tasting notes. So cheers. Okay, that definitely tastes like a Jack Daniels. A little bit proofier than what I'm used to. That's instant banana bread. And then that honey, that just sweetness, which is not familiar to me with a Jack Daniels whiskey, is there. This is really good. Probably one of the better Jack Daniels that I've had. Something that's come close to this would be a store pick that I had from a local distillery. With this being a higher proof, it makes me feel like this maybe is a store pick. Jack Daniels, perhaps. The one I had was a 131 proof. This feels like it's probably up there. So I'm going to say this is some sort of Jack Daniels, perhaps a store pick. It does not taste like the rye that I have, but that is really, really good. So for this one, it has that just distinct Jack Daniels flavor. So that's what I'm going to say for this particular glass. We're going to go ahead and move into number 2. This one's slightly darker in the Glen. In the bottle, this number 1 seems a little bit darker, but that's neither here nor there. So we're going to get in on the nose of glass number 2. So getting sweet notes here, caramels. Definitely proofier on the nose. Again, something similar to what I've had before, but I can't place my finger on it. There's a slight florally note, which again makes me think, I know florally means usually, at least this type of florally, some sort of rye. So I'm going to guess perhaps a rye, but let me get on the taste. Cheers. All right, I'm going to stick by the rye because at the finish, I'm getting just the subtlest, like herbaceous, that's probably the correct descriptor, mint flavored. Now it starts off sweet, not overly sweet, not overly herbaceous or minty, just an all-around good flavor. It does linger on the tongue for a little bit, but not for too long. Let's go in for another taste. I'm definitely going to stick with rye. This is the kicker, though, is because I've not had enough rye to know exactly which one this is. We're going to come back to this one, but I'm going to stick with my guns and say rye. I am going to say that it's a slightly higher proof than what I am used to, so at least 100, let's say 110, 115, not to the point where it burns. This is nice, comfortable proof. So number 1, I'm going to stick with my guns and say Jack Daniels. Store pick, higher proof, tastes very similar to one I've had before, right around the 130, 120 mark. This is definitely a rye. We're going to say right around 115. All right, out of all the glasses, at least in the Glen, this one seems to be the darkest. However, in the bottle, not. Nice dark color. Let's get in on the nose. So very faint, almost like a leather on the nose. Probably some wood influence from the barrel, some tannins. There's a sweet note there. All right, let's get in on the taste. Cheers. Also familiar. It was when I went in on the nose, maybe this is just how the glass was washed, but I got almost like a cologne type nose to it when I went up like that. That really threw me. Let me get another taste. That's very subtle. That reminds me almost like a wheat or like So I have the four, I call it the four basic colors of the Weller rainbow: the green, the red, the blue, and the black. This reminds me a little bit of maybe like Antique 107. It's good, it's mild. This one seems like it's a little bit more amped up, but the flavor profile is very similar. One more time. Okay, yeah, so I described a leather on the nose. The flavor profile is very mild compared to as what I'm used to. I'm used to a lot of like sweet, or with the rye, minty or herbaceous. This is to me kind of flat. There's still flavor there. I'm getting leather, not a lot of sweetness to it. So I'm gonna say it's gotta be somewhere in that Weller family. I haven't had a Weller 12 in a while. So I'm gonna say that's probably somewhere in that Weller family. So Weller 12, maybe a foolproof. You know what? I've never had a Weller single barrel or whatever the white one is. Maybe that's what those are. CYPB, I think maybe that's what it's called. Okay, I'm going to say that. All right, on to number 4. By the way, these are all good. Excuse me. Again, thank you, Whiskey Shaman. You have been just so helpful to the channel, growing and to becoming what it is today. So cheers to you. So I'm getting like citrus initially on this. I want to say like frosting, confectioner sugar. It doesn't seem right, but it is sweet. I just can't put my finger on what the sweet note is. There's like an underlying fruit note in this one as well. Almost like a light cola. All right, let's try it. Cheers. Oh, tropical fruit. Reminds me almost of like almost like candy, like a tropical fruit candy. Like maybe if you could have like a tropical Skittle, but without the texture. That's really good. Maybe like a Laffy Taffy, not Laffy Taffy, but definitely tropical fruit flavor. Let me go. Okay, so as I'm tilting the Glen up a little bit more, I am getting more of that tropical fruit flavor on the nose. Yeah, that's good. So the only time that I've had whiskey that gave me that tropical fruit nose and taste has been on something that's been much older, a higher age statement. I've been very fortunate to have a couple of buff turkeys. So the liquor store that I frequent, one of the managers on duty was kind enough to share with me. He had like an old Louisville 16-year buff turkey. My brother-in-law was kind enough to share with me story time. They had a buff turkey. I think that was a 15-year age statement. And then I've also had a barrel, I think it was Seagrass. It was also a 16-year that I got a lot of fruity notes. So I'm definitely going to lean towards a higher age statement. I'm going to say buff turkey. I know that those barrels were distributed everywhere. Everybody was buying them. I'm going to say buff turkey. I'm going to say story time on this one. So we have Jack Daniel's single barrel, some sort of rye. I forgot what that one was. Oh, one of the Wellers, either the orange or the yellow. I'm sorry, white. And then I'm going to say story time, buff turkey. All right, number 5. Man, I'm feeling a lot more confident about these. All right, the nose. It's similar to number 3, but different. Very subtle. God, that smells good. That's, I can't wait to have this one again. Excuse me. All right. Almost like a light grassy note. Sweet. Almost cologne-y. All right. Cheers. Okay. So, grassy note. This is very familiar. I feel like a Frey Ranch perhaps gives me that kind of grassy hay note. Sweetness is the first thing that I get. As that starts to dissipate, there's more of that grassy note, that like hay flavor to it. So now that I've had a sip on the nose, I'm definitely getting just like a sweet hay scent. Definitely a higher proof. A lot of flavor there. That one's good too. These are all really good. He being Shaman, recently got a Frey Ranch Harvest Grain sample, I think maybe from Doc Martinez. I don't remember if he got the whole bottle or if he got a sample. But that was after I received these. You know what? But I don't know when Doc got it. And Doc is generous with his samples. So is Shaman. So I'm going to say Frey Ranch Harvest Grain. Final answer. Jack Daniels, single barrel, high proof, right around 130. I got to come back to this one, but definitely a rye. We said Weller, either orange or blue label, orange or white label. Story time, Frey Ranch. All right, let's figure out this one. Oh my God. The nose on this, just sweetness for days. Caramel, this, oh, candy. All right, I can't go beyond it being a rye. I think I said right around 115 proof for this one. I didn't give a proof point for this guy or any of the other ones. With story time, number 4, I'm sorry for being all over the place. Story time, I'm going to say this has got to be like close to the 130s, 125. Harvest Ranch, I'm going to say kind of the same thing, 120, 123. This one, I know Wellers tend to not be higher proof, so I'm going to stick with like 112, 115. All right, this has already been a long video, so we're going to go ahead and see what each of these are. Do the big reveal. All right, so this is the one I said was Jack Daniels, for sure, single barrel, right around 130 proof. Got the Jack Daniels. Jack Daniels Coy Hill 143.8. I've never had Coy Hill before. I've had some whiskeys that were in that same rickhouse, but none as good as this. This is phenomenal. I have never understood why people chase after that particular bottle. We can now add another one to the mix. This is amazing. if I can get my hands on a Koi Hill, I certainly will. Thank you, Shaman, because I know that this is a hot commodity. All right, number 2, I said, is a rye of some sort. I definitely got that floral, herbaceous nose or flavor at the end with a hint of mintiness. I'm still fairly new. Darn it. I thought I had it. This is a William LaRue Weller 2023 134.5 proof. So man, I did not get this right at all, I swear. Now I got candy. I didn't get the proof. I didn't get the, Buffalo Trace, so kind of right. Damn, this is good too. I've never, excuse me, that's not true. My brother-in-law let me have a pour of BTAC. I think it was the George T. Stagg before. That was great. So this is only my second time having any sort of sample from Buffalo Trace. Excuse me, BTAC. All right, so this is the one I think was Weller, which clearly I don't know my Weller because that's what this one was. Damn. Darn. Sorry, I tried to keep it PG. This is Wild Turkey Master Keep Beacon. Now, I got close to the proof. I said right around 115, I think 120. This is 118. Honestly, from a Wild Turkey, this is not the flavor that I was expecting. This one, out of the lineup, probably would be my least favorite, which I never thought I would say, especially with the Keepers lineup. As expensive as those are, and as highly sought after as those are, I had higher expectations. So far, these two are tied for being my favorite. So, all right. Number 4. This is the one that I said I believe is Storytime Buff Turkey. Just tropical fruit for days. Dadgummit. All right. Thomas H. Handy 2024 127 proof. So Thomas H. Handy, another BTAC. I'm pretty sure in this a rye. I'll have to go back and look. But man, this one is probably my favorite. Right here. Not close or not too far behind number 2, which is that Weller, and then the Jack Daniels. All 3 of these interchangeably, just great. All right. Number 5, I haven't hit anything on the nose yet. I got close with the Jack Daniels, missed everything else, thought I knew what rye tasted like. Clearly I was wrong. I said that this one is Frey Ranch Harvest Grain. Damn it. Again, excuse my potty mouth. George T. Stagg 2024 136.1 proof. Has a grassy note, which is not bad at all. A hay note. I've had Stagg before. I believe that's what my brother-in-law let me have years and years ago. So it wasn't a flavor profile that I distinctly remember. But this one's good too. I don't mind a hay or grassy note. And with it being sweet, this one was amazing. So, all right. All high-end, exclusive, limited release type whiskeys, all great, all high proof. Just stellar lineup. I can't thank Whiskey Shaman enough because without him, many of the whiskeys that I've sampled, in addition to these, I would have never had access to. So thank you, Whiskey Shaman, for being so generous with your samples and for helping make these videos possible. So, all right, guys, we are at the end. I know this is a little bit longer than normal, but I want to continue to make videos just like this to help me grow. hopefully help you grow and make it enjoyable as well. All right, please make sure that you do all the YouTubey things. Be sure that you like this video. Down in the comments below, have you sampled or had any of these whiskeys before? If so, what's your favorite? I mean, all of these are great, but I want to know what is your favorite. Lastly, if you haven't already, please make sure that you subscribe. Please share with friends, family, whoever. Last time I checked, I'm sitting at 54 subscribers. I have a little bit more than a month and a half to try to hit my 100 subscriber goal. Again, if we get there, we get there. If we don't, that's okay too. All right, guys, thank you for watching until the end. I'm your favorite player one, Richard. Have a good one.